Hi, it's Joy, and welcome to my November 2021 Suite of the Month, video number 2 for the Pansy Petals Suite. This suite is in the annual catalog, which will go until April 2022, and it has many wonderful things in it. It has gorgeous designer series paper, beautiful stamp set, dies, and some really fun bumblebee trinkets, which I will be showing you. Consists of the Pansy Patch stamp set and the pansy dies. They are some really fun dies. They will cut out the pansies that you punch, or they will do individual embossed die cuts. I'll be showing you some of the die cuts on my project today. I'm also going to be using some of the rectangle stitched framelits dies, and they have all these great sizes that nest together of rectangles. Imagine that. And there is a stitched border on them. I will be using this size, which is about 3 from the outside, and this size, which is about 1 from the outside. And I want to show you this really pretty designer series paper. You have 6 designs on one side and 6 designs on the other side. The opposite side is the patterns only side. And the dies will actually cut out these pansies, the large and the small, and these 2 types of leaves. So that makes it extra fun. If you want to see a card using that, go to my Suite of the Month video for November 2021, the first video. This is the second video. So this is my project. Let me slide it over here and bring in my basic white cardstock. This is regular thickness. I have cut it to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. The metric measurements will be shown at the end of this video, as well as all of the measurements. I am also bringing in 2 pieces of 3 inches by 4 inches, scored at 1 inch along one edge of each of these. Now, because this is a directional paper, I wanted my pansies to be facing the right way directionally. So I scored at the top of this one and the bottom of this one. I also went ahead and took a ruler and a pencil and marked halfway on my piece of cardstock, so the 4-inch width. So I marked it at 2 inches with a pencil, and again at 2 inches with a pencil on the side that is not the 1-inch score. This is so I have a marking to be able to fold this so that the peak of my triangle is in the center. But first, I'm going to do a little stamping for the inside. I'm going to bring in the Love You Much stamp and the small pansy, the solid, and the detailed. I also need to bring in a piece of scratch grid paper because I will be doing a little stamping off. I'm going to take the fresh freesia and the solid part of my pansy, stamp off, and then I have marked lightly with a pencil the center so that I know where to place this. And I just want it very light. I also will be using Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to stamp off the detail part of my pansy. and then line that up on top of that. And I can't see directly overhead, so I'm just going to guess that I'm in the right spot for the camera. Oh, hey, that looks really good. I'm impressed. Now for my words, I'm going to take the Evening Evergreen ink pad and my Love You Much stamp. Just kind of tap, 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 and put that underneath the pansy that I've stamped. Oh, beautiful. I did get a little smudge there, so I would normally flip that over and stamp that again, but to save time on camera, I'm just going to go with it. Now let's go ahead and take these pieces and fold this back, and then I need a bone folder. So I'm going to fold from this corner to this pencil mark. So that's where the peak of my triangle is going to be. And I also want it to come down along the edge here. And I'm not going to press that down all the way yet until I get the other side. Okay, see how those meet in the middle? Sometimes you have to fuss with it just a little bit. There, that's better. So now we have one corner down, one triangle. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this one as well. So that one is meeting in the middle. I can go ahead and use my bone folder so that I get a nice sharp crease. And now we can attach this. And I will go ahead and erase that pencil mark later. So let's just attach this on the back using my multi-purpose liquid glue, so I have a little fudge room. Oh, and I need to do the flaps. And this is good because if I need to play with it a little bit, it doesn't dry right away. I want that to meet in the middle so that there really isn't any gap. Go ahead and do the second one. You might need to kind of squeeze those two pieces together, those two sides together. And when you've done that, now you can go ahead and put it on your card, but you want to make sure, double check, and make sure that you have them all going the direction that you want to. So this one is the one for the top. And this one is the one for the bottom. There we have our two double triangles for our double triangle fold. And now I'm going to go ahead and just place it on a quarter size sheet. So this is 1/4 of your standard cardstock full sheet. This just happens to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 for the A2 size. And I'm going to go ahead and mount this onto that base. My base is the Bumblebee color, which looks really nice with this designer series paper. Let's set this aside and bring in a piece of the fresh freesia that I have die cut with the stitch rectangle dies and some of the fresh freesia checks. in this designer series paper stack. Attach these two together and set that aside. Let's bring in a piece of the basic white that I've cut out with the smaller stitched rectangle die. I have some die cut blooms from this set. Some of them I've already attached, and this one I'm going to show you a little trick using the multi-purpose liquid glue, the silicone mat, just a inexpensive disposable makeup sponge. Let's take some of the multi-purpose liquid glue and make a little pile. And then we're going to lay that down in a spot that doesn't have glue all over it already. And just dab a little bit of that on. And then I can attach these two pieces together. I like to use this if I don't have any adhesive sheets handy, or if I forgot my adhesive sheets, but I thought this would be a good trick to show you. Now I'm going to turn this stem over and do this again. You're just dabbing a little bit on, and it's enough to attach them. So that one is ready to go. And like I said, I've already glued these two together to save a little time. Let's attach these to this stitched rectangle. Bring in my sample so I can get a fairly good idea of where to place this. And then a little more liquid glue. This one is going to go down here. And then I need a little bit on the stem down here, because this is going to wrap around like so. Now my final one, bring back this glue, just a little easier to control, and it'll go down this skinny stem here. Now my final flower bud, and I'm doing it so that it looks as if that stem is coming off from the edge of the paper. Now some of this I want to just go ahead and hang off to give some movement, but other parts I do want to trim a little bit. There's my focal point. I want to bring this piece back in, and some of the fresh freesia open weave ribbon. This is just so pretty. It has a nice shimmer, and it has this little open part that gives it a great little detail. And I am going to tie this around this piece. Normally I would do that ribbon saving technique that I'm always doing, but I want it to have a finished look on the back. So I did about 11 inches of this, so I have room to tie it. And this is going to get tied onto the edge of this piece. There we have it. Is that about right? Hey, that looks about right. So there's plenty to trim off there. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals to put on the back of my focal piece. And I think I can go ahead and attach this on now. I'm leaving kind of an even border at the top, the left side, and the bottom. And I want to go ahead and trim some of this off. And bring in my card base. Again, pretend that that little thing is not there. And I need to mark this where I need to glue it. Use just a light pencil mark. So that I know not to get any glue above that line and kind of go below that line. We're just lining this up so that it's centered between our two double triangle folds. And then you can go back with an eraser and get rid of that light pencil line. And let's go ahead and get rid of this one too. And let's bring in some of these Bumblebee Trinkets that I told you I would show you. These are very fun, and they will attach with a glue dot. So I'm going to go ahead and use a glue dot, put one right about there, and I think I might try putting one over that spot where I got that ink so that it's not real noticeable. Oh, look at that. That looks great. Let's just make sure it isn't interfering with anything. So I got one there, and I think I would like to do maybe one more so that it might be a little more balanced. Maybe one over here. And that gives my card a little more balance, and I have covered up that ugly ink spot. They say that there are no mistakes, just opportunities for embellishment. Glad I could kind of show you that. Yeah, let's have him kind of going off so my bees have a bit of movement there. And I'm going to go ahead and give this ribbon just a little bit more of a trim. I want to make those even. There you have it. And you have my original, and then you have the one that I've stepped up just a little bit more to hide a little ink. Oops. So I hope you have enjoyed my video. Please be sure to give me a thumbs up to show that you like this video. And if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do that as well. And I look forward to seeing you next month for the December 2021 Suite of the Month. Until then, bye!